I wanted to make another video on this bike because I felt like I was a little bit of a hater in the last video. And after renting this again, I actually rented the Transalp, hated the Transalp so much, it felt like a POS. I took it back to the rental shop and just asked for the Vstrom again, and I was doing some two-up riding, just some light riding. And it just made me appreciate how nice this bike is. I don't think it's a hardcore off-road bike. If you want to do some ADV riding like the Tenere 700, that would still be my choice. I would still not buy this. The T7 would be ideal for me, or an 890. Reliability issues aside, an 890 or T7 for me personally. But if you're not doing that hardcore off-road riding, man, I cannot say enough good things about this bike. It is the one negative I will say right off the rip, the other reason I would not buy it, is because of how this bike is designed for a short, like maybe 5'8", 160-pound rider. Everything from the suspension to the height of the pegs to the seat height is very low, and I feel a little bit scrunched up, so that's my main issue with it. But the bike is extremely high quality. It feels very premium. The switches, the shifting, a very premium build from Suzuki. I don't know how best to put that, but when you shift it, it feels like a precision instrument. There's no mush, there's no play. The brakes just feel so strong. The components, just everything is so nice, and it was the opposite of the Transalp. I'm not gonna go on the Transalp, but I feel like the Transalp is a POS that feels like it was made in China. Everything about it was terrible. I took it back, got the Suzuki. This bike is amazing, I think, if you're just a light off-roader, and you probably could do hardcore off-road on it, but I would have to change a bunch of stuff, and I would like to test ride one if somebody lowered the foot pegs, put a rally seat on it, upgraded the suspension, and raised the bars. I would like to ride that bike because I think that would be an amazing bike. But that's a lot of stuff for me to change, whereas a KTM 890 or Tenere 700, it felt good just right out of the factory, and I felt like I could just go out. The riding position was good, standing position was good. But I cannot say enough good things about how smooth the engine is on this, how low the RPMs will come without the bike jerking or stalling. Like 2,000 RPM, and I'm not touching the clutch. If I'm slowing down a stoplight, I can just coast, and it doesn't jerk, it doesn't stutter. I don't know how Suzuki did that, because my 1090 can't do that. It starts doing this number. You know the number. You got to pull, you got to start touching the clutch. Suzuki doesn't do that. You drop down the RPMs, and it just comes down to a brrr. Amazing. Just a beautiful bike. Feels much lighter than the 1090. The center of gravity feels low. I can do full lock turns better than the 1090. 1090, if I start doing full lock turns, I have to be really on my game because I tip over. This one, I did a video making some full lock turns I'll upload later, but the center of gravity feels like more BMW-ish, like it's down low, and I can do full lock turns easy. Also, even though the 1090 and this weigh the same on paper, give or take 5 or 10 pounds, this is much easier to pick up. So something's lower with the center of gravity on this. I don't know if it's fuel or the way the engine's designed, but I picked it up and I was like, oh wow, this feels much lighter than the 1090. So that's a perk for it. Suspension bottomed out really easily. Again, that's a negative of my weight and being designed for, you know, a Japanese rider, their average. But I was just doing some light off-roading, and I'm not being a hater. I just think that the main flaw of this is that it is designed for a smaller rider doing off-road stuff. But I bottomed out on potholes and stuff very quickly. But with a suspension upgrade, like I said, I would love to try an upgraded version of this bike to rip off-road. I would never consider the Transalp. So if the Transalp is in your running for this, the Transalp, the Tenere, and you're not going to do hardcore off-road, I would choose this bike. This bike, I think you should rent it yourself. This is a very premium feeling bike. The engine, the components, everything feels high quality. The shifting, the smoothness of the engine, the braking, everything is just awesome. I was very impressed by it. So this, again, I would not buy it because I would do more focused off-road for like a T7. But man, this is not a bad bike if you want to buy it and you're a shorter rider. So